Now this buttstock has a couple of really cool features on it. It's really adjustable. We've got these wheels here that dial up and down the cheek rest. We can use this one to go back and forth on our length of pull. We've got a spot down here for some Picatinny rail, and you can see I've got some installed on there. There's a couple of other adjustments that you may not have noticed. One is these pinch bolts. So we've got a pinch bolt right here, and what that's going to do is pinch onto this shaft and stop any slop on here and kind of fix it so that even if you brush up against this, you're not going to move it. We've got the same kind of thing up here for the cheek rest, so we can lock in those adjustments. And then we've got the rear here, and you can see that I've got this butt pad a little bit canted, and this is using I believe it's a 1/8. Yes, a 1/8 Allen wrench, and all you do is fit it in through the back. It's kind of like this hole here. Oh, let me get a better purchase on it. And you just screw it out just to loosen it, and then what it'll do is it gives you the option of moving this guy up or down. I was fine with it right there. And then you've got a couple of other 2 screws down here, and you can see that they've got these channels in here. That's what lets this thing cant up or a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. And you can see I have mine canted a little bit. This is just really comfortable for me, and it feels like it really fits into my shoulder pocket. So I'm going to leave that as is, and I'm going to slide this butt pad back on and go ahead and tighten things up. Some other features on here that you might not have noticed. We've got these QD slots. I've got one right up here. I've got one down there. Same thing on the other side. One at the top and one at the bottom. So these are some quick places. I do like side QD mounts because when a side QD mount will make sure that the rifle hangs flat side towards you, kind of a thing. I don't like the bottom mounts because those tend to make the rifle want to kind of roll over on you. So a side QD mount on the front and back is ideal, at least in my opinion. So that's the buttstock. Now to install this on a receiver, this is not compatible with an AR-15, and you can see why, because there's no room for the buffer tube, and instead you use this little stubby buffer tube here. So let's go ahead and install that. And you can see that this will take a standard AR-15 buffer tube. We don't need one when we're using this skeletonized buttstock. So instead we install this little guy here. Make sure it's on there nice and tight. I'm just going to back you guys up here a bit. Next I'm going to throw this guy on. Just to make sure it's nice and tight, I'm going to swing it up and try not to hit my light. Oh, it's so close. There we go. And just keeping it nice and flat so that the receiver and the buttstock are nicely aligned. I'm going to get this 3/16 Allen wrench on the side, right there, and I'm going to torque it down. And watch my lights. There we go. And what that's going to do is ensure that there's no slot between the buttstock and the receiver. So now you can kind of get the gist of this. This is a big rifle, so it's kind of hard to fit into the screen there, but there you can see what this looks like when it's fully assembled. And you can see that this palm shelf is kind of where it needs to be. That angle, that little bit more angle on my butt, what I'm doing is angling a little bit more this way, so that's a little bit more in my shoulder like that. And it is super duper comfortable when you're at the range.